unfortunately will not be on the roster today, and Finland will go ahead and get started against a Scotland roster with a lot of familiar names. Scotland, this is their first year in the World Cup as a separate team, and I mean, I like how Aiden or Calvin put it kind of in the World Cup group draw, where, I mean, the team kind of got put on hold because, Sammy holding everyone kind of hostage on Scotland, essentially, and joining up with Team UK. But now the team has enough to separate, and they do have good chances, honestly. They have, at least for their roster, Callum, Sammy, Ollie, Lachlan, and Dino. These are players that I recognize playing at a good level at MKPS, but as soon as I say that, unfortunately, Callum going to go down in first place there.
Kind of wincing a little bit of that one, but again, I mean, it happens. It's Maple Treeway. Again, Maple Treeway, first track. That was the first track in the previous event we just watched as well. It seems to be quite a common one.
Yeah.
But no, I completely agree with you. Like, Scotland is no joke, and I know there's a lot of the memes of the whole, like, the UK, like Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland all being merged into one team. But it is exciting as a UK supporter. Obviously, you know.
Ooh, okay. Nice hop dodge, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. That golden's going to be really, really important, especially on a track like this, where like the boosts are only at one specific part of the track. He's just going to use it now. Like I said earlier, or like we discussed, like this is a track you just want to get up there on, because if you can make a break, then the shock's not really going to damage you too much.
Right. Now, interesting to note about Finland here is that, yeah, they don't have Nami, and a lot of their roster is definitely new Finnish blood here, so it will be difficult. Getting sniped, though, and sent out of there. That's going to be Scotland in what seems to be 2-3-4, maybe 1-3-4.
No, not one. You've got Finn, Hedwig up there, but Hedwig's taking the cut, so it's very possible that Hedwig will be in first by the end of this. Is Hedwig on Daisy?
I think Daisy, yeah. That seems to be the case.
I think so.
God bless Hedwig. If you are a Daisy amongst 3 Funky Kongs while the blue shell is coming on Maple Treeway, that doesn't sound very fun at all. Well, he does slow down, though, I think, maybe being a deliberate action there.
Realizing, yeah, either getting hit or realizing that the blue came.
That
this run.
That was a long time to slow down for. Maybe they were actually.
I think they got hit. There's no way. There must have been like a banana or a shell or a fib tight, because like, yeah, you only just want to barely let someone out. But this bomb in third here, he's going to slow down. Yep.
Oh wow.
He's going to block the way, and there's going to be a shock. It's the shock from Team Scotland or Finland on that. It's kind of hard
great
to tell.
question. It's kind of hard to tell. Maybe they use the shocker to cancel the effect of the bomb. Is maybe
really? I mean, that's
I don't know.
200 IQ stuff right there. Like, we're gonna get bombed quick.
Actually, yeah, it probably is a Scotland shock. I see one of them dodging up. They might have gotten top 3-5 right off of the gate, and great job on Scotland's part to see, because I think for me, definitely recognize the names, and I think this will be one of the teams to certainly look out for in the play-in stage. I have my eyes peeled for a very important match happening tomorrow between Scotland and Greece. That will be very fun to see. It'll be taking place at the same time as an equally influential match between, I think, Asia and I think the Netherlands, or either Netherlands or Ireland, which will be a good match all the same. So. But either way, Scotland getting off to a great start here.
42-point race to start the whole thing off is everything you want, really. A top 3-5, and then for the bagger to get the point, like, what more could you possibly ask for?
Literally could not ask for anything better. So they will more than take that. Straight to the bank.
Right, so already up by 23.
Yeah.
Right.
And so what? Finland, just getting the result in from their first match, I very much know, just talking with their captain, it definitely seems like they're in for the fun of it. So definitely not a team that seems to be too disheartened by the prospect of, even, for a while it seemed like they might only have 4 players going into this, and they were fine with that. So I think just definitely going about it with a chin-up attitude. And it'll be cool to see like what they can get done here. And I think, obviously, if tracks can go their way, maybe they can do a bit more damage than anyone might anticipate here. I think Finland definitely coming into this one with an uphill battle, but we'll see what damage they can get done here. BCW will be a difficult track to do that on.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, it's not a track that you want if you're in Finland. Like, that cloud is a saving grace there from the game in terms of Finland's side, because it kind of prevents their top 3 run, making it down to just a top 2 instead. This opening section of corridors, going to be pretty important as to how the race sort of plays out here. But it's looking like Team Scotland escaped out of that kind of a very light situation there, not really seeing like the common bloodbath of bombs and reds and megas and stuff. A lot of people just want to get up there on this track. Not sure how Finland are with performing glitch. You've obviously got Hedwig on Daisy, but not too sure on whether they're like proficient with glitch. That's a really important thing, as we saw from email in the previous
If
match.
you're able to, great. The glitch is so hard. At least, you know, for something to be able to pull off something consistently, at least in comparison to the other regular Mario Kart
competitive environment.
Yeah, exactly. It's one thing I think it's one thing if you're like a time trialer and you feel pretty comfortable taking it pretty consistently, or even like an online player and able to take it pretty consistently in time trials. But it's a different thing when you're in the race and you know, in the thick of it all with the kind of Discord call going. I almost called it Skype call. Discord call.
Oh man, perfect.
Yeah, no, I would never go back to those days. Ideally, if possible, it's kind of surprising that we survived the way we did, dragging everyone into group chats that maxed out at like 25 people, and a call that would, you know, if you ever wanted to call within the team, it would call everyone at the same time, send a notification to you, and. Anyway, before I get into Windows XP hell, let's
I mean, there's a match going on, Harry. You got to keep your eyes on the game.
Right.
Blue Shell coming in right there for Team Scotland, but I don't think it's going to do much because, they go down, but Oliver's just going to take the fort. You've got Hydrate up here from Finland's team, but not much of a finished presence on this track up top. And there's a massive gap between 4-5. Dropping the star is going to be good for Team Finland because obviously him having a star in third is not what you want.
Well, hold on. Okay, so he dropped the star, but the person in second got it, which I think is a Finland member? Yeah, that's interesting.
I think so, and they didn't get Oliver off. I don't know what the shot was used for.
Yeah, really. It seems questionable or curious shock, maybe a missed call. Either way, a bomb coming out so clean. Ironically, actually, no, it doesn't. Hydrate, able to somehow avoid it, then get redded. I'm confused from what I see here, but the blue shell is coming.
He's gonna wait at the line, or he's gonna look at the lead there. He's fine. He's all right. I think he was gonna wait anyway, even if he did get it. So he was getting glued anyway.
This is just ridiculous to see.
Third man, really, the game's just giving him everything he needs to make damage. Like, don't get me wrong, he's playing well as well, but like, there are times where the game just kind of wants you to win, and I think that's just another, pressing sign.
Yeah. Right.
That's another race for Scotland, man. Scotland's just running away straight out of the gate, booking it, no turning back.
They are clean with this one. I mean, like, I think I expected something of this start. They are exactly, playing to the expectations for the team here, I think, which is a good look on them, their part. I mean, this is their first match, so it's always great to get that kind of boosting confidence from seeing the first performance come together. I mean, some teams definitely have differences in the rate of practice, but I do think Scotland is one of a good close group of teams, at least in comparison to like some other teams that might not have as much practice and very much familiar with each other. So yeah, definitely just proving what they've probably seen in the preparation for this event, whether individual or as a team. And we go into race 3 with the expected performance here. Now, kind of to go over generally, I don't think we've gone over it, but may as well just touch on it while we're here, is the format of the event being, of course, in 3 parts, just like last year. Play-in stage, that's what we're starting off with here. Apologies for the incorrect lower third, but in the meantime, yeah, play-in stage is where we're starting off with. One group in Mario Kart Wii has a 6 teams, and the other team has 5 teams, you'll notice. Either way, this weekend is play-in stage, next weekend is the group stage, and only the top 2 teams from this group will move on. So even though Scotland's a great team, of course, they still have a lot of work cut ahead of them in what it is a pretty competitive group for them. So definitely want to get all the wins and all the point differential that you can here. It all really does and can come to matter in the end.
And that can happen, right? Like, say, like, this event, like, they're doing well right now. If they kind of, like, go into, like, cruise control mode and just, I don't know, not play at their fullest because they're having this situation where they're able to run against Finland, it might be that this attitude might work against them when they play against another team that, is able to keep the pressure on a little bit more. And I think that's the main thing that I'm seeing here in this situation is just a lack of pressure at the top of the top. Like you're seeing Oliver and Callum being allowed to just run for free, essentially.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's tough, right? I mean, we talked a little bit before on Moonview how like, yeah, it definitely is a comebackable track, but at that beginning of if you're able to separate yourself from the pack, where for the first 20 seconds, where it can often be very bumpy, it's just, yeah, you're gone. And Oliver definitely sees that in first place right now. Big chillin'. Now,
yeah, I'm I'm not seeing a Lightning really destroying this lead that top 3 has, really. It's just the pack's so spread.
Right.
Interesting play there. He opts to like kind of slow down to throw the green, knowing that the win is the most important thing here. So if Oliver secures that first place, that they're just in even more of a good sitting. Him just constantly chaining single shrooms, but it's not going to help him against this red. This is exactly what Hydrate wants here.
Yeah.
And you've got Kahuma who's coming up from behind as well. So this is looking good. This is looking decent. Someone dodging in 5th, didn't quite catch who.
Okay.
It looks like Same, and there's
and
the
blue shell on Finland. They have the shock dodge as well. Everything going coordinated. No, Callum gets greened at the end. I think this should still be a top 3 unless he got green right there. That would have been tragic.
Yeah, there it is.
But it will be a top 3. Wow. Actually, it looked like Finland was going to have something go their way towards the end there. But, yeah, not in the end. I think they had like 1-3 towards the end, but the blue shell, the shock, all coming together coordinated. Even in the situation where Finland found something, Scotland coordinated it together.
Just a lot of stuff going on. Like I saw Kahuma in a really, really ideal spot. He managed to escape the carnage of the blue and the dropped bananas and shells and whatnot. But unfortunately, like the angry lorry driver just said, "Come here," and just flattened him. But he was still able to get 4th out of that. But I can't help but wonder, in an alternate universe, if he doesn't get squashed by the car, is he able to kind of like run away and secure that top spot?
Right.
And I know that they're already down quite a bit due to the 2 top 3s, but even just hanging on by a thread, GP1, getting, clutching that first, clutching that second, it can really, really help. But right now, Scotland just feel unstoppable.
Unstoppable indeed. Yeah, and in these situations, I think it's important to, take it as it's coming. Right now, a pretty impressive score on the behalf of Scotland. It's a point total that you might imagine they have after 4 races, 128 points to 55. So rather big deficit we're seeing here. For the first Grand Prix, we'll see to what extent they can hold it. I think, back in my day, I was part of a war where, earlier on in Mario Kart Wii, I think I was this literally might have been 10 years ago. I might have been like a 15-year-old. And that was a result. I think in Asphalt Warriors, a team called Asphalt Warriors, we lost by maybe, was it 300? Was it 200? I forget. But it was a very notable amount. And at that point, it's just you're having fun with it. I don't know. I think for me personally, some people can get in a different spot about it, but I think at that point, it's just a thing of you're taking it race by race, and you kind of let yourself be surprised by what you're able to do. And I think that's, for Finland, that's what they can hope for here. I mean, obviously last race, they had something good going for them, so keeping it going shouldn't be, at least being able to keep efforts going where they have close bouts and able to at least test waters and see, maybe get some close results on races is something that, will be really fun to play with for them.
I think all they need is a single race to kickstart them. But the problem is, the further it gets into this event, the more races that go past, that kickstart's going to, not really do what it needs to do. This would be the perfect race for them to do it. If they manage to get top 2, 5, 6, even something minute like that, kind of just gives them that hope that they need, that they still have a chance, and it's not just, a bloodbath as people seem to be assuming it is. But I mean, it's hard to say. I don't actually know how much Finland have practiced in relation to Scotland.
Right, so that's the thing. I think Scotland is a bit more tighter knit of a team. They've had more relations. I think the thing about Finland actually is they were being led by their one of their main members on the team, Arvo, and I think Arvo dipping out towards the end, maybe coming back, but maybe not quite so much for in time for the matches. So losing a key component to the roster, always never the greatest situation to be in. Either way, Finland not so much I think on the practice side, and definitely coming here with an open mind here. Third lap here, and it's top 2-4 for Finland. Karhu now, we've seen give a stab or two at getting some top spots here. Now approaching in 3rd or 4th place. We'll see if they can maybe approach this gap between at least them and the rest of Scotland's top 3 isn't too much, but definitely between top 4 and bottom 4, a big old gap. So for Finland's sake, let's see if Finland can maybe infiltrate here.
Yeah, I mean, like Peach Gardens is again another track where you can coordinate some of the most unpredictable lightnings due to the chomp boxes, right? But I mean, like we're getting to the last turn, and you've got Scotland with a top 3 yet again. There's the lightning coming, but again, that may very well be a Scotland shock just to get that that 4th member up there. Not really seeing who that is, but I don't think that's going to change the results too much because the pack is incredibly spread. For some reason, like I don't.
It really is, Jesus.
Even more so. Yeah, I mean, look at it. I mean, like, yeah, you got your 2 baggers, of course, but even like in the lower spots, you got the Daisy chilling in 4th, like 600 meters between her and 5th, and it's just,
this is like
not what I'm used to seeing.
This is like, I mean, sort of like it can be the case for Peach Gardens, but like to that extent, Jesus. Yeah, no, definitely something that it is, if nothing else, hard to come back from. Finland getting 4-5, not able to quite crack that top 3, and yeah, Sammy clean, Callum having all above 40 points in what is the end of the GP there.
I think that was their best race because they've gotten top 3 every race, but that was the first race that they got 4-5. Whereas the other races they got 4.
God, this might be this actually literally might be like a historic performance in the making. I will take a quick second, if not more than a few seconds, to shout out a community member by the name of Ryubix, I believe is how you say it. They've been putting together a World Cup like history database website, which like catalogs like as much information as it can scrap from like all the World Cups that have happened since so long ago, right? And it does such a good job with it. We'll link it in the chat as soon as I can get the link to it, but shout out to them. They've done a really good job in putting that together, and it's a great guide if you're just getting involved in the World Cup to take a look at. So we will, I definitely would keep your eye on that, and I'll go ahead and link that in the chat real quick here. But yeah, if you're curious in learning more about the World Cup, it is a fan-made project there that shout out to Rebix again for putting together. It has so much information. You can look up like World Cup by like game, by year, and look into like I really love the view of being able to look into teams as like just like being able to look at like countries' pages, and it has like all their like games in one page, which is kind of neat to like contextualize how good a country is like across all the Mario Kart games. But yeah, that was a long way of saying shout out to Ryubix for putting together what has been a great asset for myself and for anyone getting into the World Cup here. But all that said, race 4, and it is Toad's Factory, top 3. Thoughts on having top 3 on Toad Factory here?
Well, so Kahuma absolutely loves this track. I can tell you that from the get-go. Big lover of this track. So I'm hoping that he's going to be able to pull out the big guns on this one and possibly make Scotland shake in their boots a little bit. It's a great track to have top 3 on, though. Very, very, very good, because you can coordinate like who grabs what box. Obviously, you've got the Shroomless cut here that a lot of them are going to go for because it's quite consistent. Even if you take it, fairly safe and wide like that, you're still saving quite a bit of time as opposed to going around. All Scotland really needs to do is just book it. It's been working for them so far. Like, yeah, they've probably had a shock or two work in their favour to just catch up their 4th member to get to the front, but they've mainly just been running. And they haven't really been contested, so I think they're just going to go for it, which is why you're seeing them vote stuff like Rainbow Road. Like
they're pretty
happy to go there.
Pretty comfortable at this point, and I think like especially tracks where they can get ahead and back spam easily, like they feel pretty comfortable at this point doing so, and we obviously see them going away at this point with the lead, and that's going to be them at least at the end of lap 2 with not too much of a gap on the rest of the team. Actually, Hydra able to build up in the second now, but the red, I believe, coming out onto them. So Scotland with a top 2, and with maybe more on the way.
One of the Scottish players, I think, didn't quite make the Shroomless, but again, they've got a lead of almost 100. They've got top 2. Yeah. Like, it's no sweat. It's chill. It's like it's whatever,
Big chill.
Kind of just doing their own thing. Really needs some blue shells. That's the one thing from the previous event that I'm really just not seeing here.
Yeah, at all.
I don't think I've seen any. Like, there was one on Move You, but it happened at the same time as the shock.
Which is actually
kind of didn't really do anything.
Pretty interesting to note because, yeah, blue shells are rather at least a bit more common than what we've seen. That said, shock comes in, but is it too late? It does get target shock on 2 people. Okay.
Yeah, so, one being, I think, a Finnish player as well, which is not what you want to see if you're rooting for Team Finland to kind of like keep their foot in the door on this event, because they've already got a massive uphill to climb here. And again, I just feel like Finland it may even be more beneficial to pick tracks where big breaks are harder to get. Like possibly throw in some, I don't even know, like some GCN Mario Circuit into the mix, possibly. Right. Something with like a shroom cut that you can catch up and kind of break that morale. Because right now, they've picked what? BC, MT, TF. You had RPG, but I mean, like, you can kind of run that one because you've only got the one shortcut, really, and then the grass at the end. But if you pick something a bit more dynamic, heck, even maybe like the Wii Mario Circuit, just something to break their running. Because they're kind of, excuse the pun, running away with it.
Really? Yeah. You really just had to do that to us. All right, fair. Yeah, you know what?
I mean,
you had to. It's fair. It's fair. You know, a quick aside. I do want to address. I think, you know, when we tend to look at players on stream, right? It can be like a kind of a thing, right? Where like I know when I look at gameplay, it's like, dang, I wish he did this, or I wish like this player like, you know, did this. But let's also acknowledge the fact. Shout outs to Callum for streaming because it isn't easy. You often see from like players like, because we don't quite have spectator mode yet, but shout outs to Bean. They are working on this as a mod for Mario Kart Wii. But until we get that, we rely on players to stream their perspective, to be able to watch along, and you know, to have all the focus on you and all the armchair criticism. It can be a bit, you know, to sit with. So hats off to Callum for doing all this and still performing as they are. It is not an easy feat to go up and people in front of a stage and say like, yeah, I feel comfortable totally with everyone just watching everything I do.
I mean, to be fair, like if you think I may have been throwing a bit of shade by saying he did the TF cut wide, he's better at the cut than I am. Like I fail that all the time. Like I'm trash. So like, he's better than me. Like I just want to make that clear.
No, definitely. I just think like it's a thing, right, where in a community where we rely on the perspective of other players, right? If in the spirit of like being able to put on the show and enjoy it all together, I think it's like good to just acknowledge that too, right? Of just like that difficult component for streams, and just giving the shout out to the players for making it happen. So again, hats off to Callum. It ain't easy. I know, like it's funny because I would stream sometimes for like MKPS matches in my a team I recently played with. Rest in peace, Onslaught. Loved it while it lasted, and I would perform well off stream, and as soon as turning on the stream, it's just a whole different story. Even with like 30 people, it just like, I don't know, hands sweaty. Either way, my hands are sweaty at this lap 3. We got a star in 8th. Walk us through this story. What are we going to expect to see here?
We're going to see a shot that's going to hit Callum in 8th, and he's going to chain a star and then just take the cut again and win for free. Fantastic. Everybody loves Mario Circuit 3. Great track.
Oh, does it get the chain? Does that maybe change things?
No.
Blue
Doesn't
shell?
mean anything.
Colin?
Really, really good for Kahuma holding up second there, and I think you've got another Finnish player kind of holding up the fort, but I don't know if you noticed. I think you were reveling in your clan, so I didn't want to take that away from you, which is but I think there was a blue shell. How dare I, indeed. There was a blue shell thrown from Finland to get Scotland.
Right.
But Mario Circuit 3 has this thing where people die at the start, and people that don't die have triple shrooms, and they just do a time trial. So I'm pretty damn sure that Clean just dodged the blue in first with a shroom. So it seems that even like me saying like, yeah, where are the blues at, man? Throw the blues, Finland. It doesn't seem to be mattering, because even if they do get them, and that's their best race so far. That's what 2, 4, 7, 8. Much better than, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
4, 6, 8, 9, or whatever they've been getting before. But there's already such a large gap.
Yeah, it's just at this point, it's just like
what it is.
120 points, right? My God, it's hard to come through on sometimes, and so we'll hopefully we'll see if, you know what, if they hit 250, I'm proud of them, which is like a number that's like generally we don't hit with wars. And honestly, I think that's a thing with a performance like this is like the consistency to hit, something like a 400 plus performance. We might even see a 500 point war on behalf of Scotland, which is like something we super do not see.
Don't even say that, man. Commentators curse. Don't speak it into existence.
You actually are so right, and I am so. That was such an amateur mistake. I can't believe I actually just did that.
Lord. Yeah. Well, I mean, they broke their top 3 streak. I mean, that would have been a first, I think, if we'd seen a war in the World Cup where a team just gets top 3 every single race. Like, I don't think that's something that I've seen. So at least they've managed to take that out. DDR starting in 2-4. Unfortunate mistake from Kahuma, kind of just flailing into the sand there, and then getting ready for it.
Callum will also go down as well. So yeah, it looks like our perspectives here did fall back a little bit, but on Callum's behalf, it's really not big of a deal. In fact, EDR, it's often kind of optimal sometimes to just go for the golden right at the beginning and bank on the ultra strat.
Exactly, yeah, and he knows, like, the triple streams are good, but they're not as good as a golden, so he did attempt to chain, but it seems like it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Unfortunate power missed dodge, but it doesn't really matter, because I think he's going to aim to bag anyway. The item that he pulls here is going to be pivotal as to what he does next. If he gets a star, he might choose to do the star ultra, but he gets a golden, which is, like you said, what he was going for. Oh, that was too close.
Oh my god. Okay.
There was almost some nichery going on there.
Yeah.
With that one, but
yeah, that was very scary for a second. Gave me a heart attack.
Again,
you hate those moments.
That's the blue. You got the blue,
okay,
which is good. You got Hedwig in third, the lone survivor up here from Team Finland. You got Callum really turning on the heat in fourth there with that optimal wall wrap right there.
Yet another bomb too as well. I love it. It doesn't really happen much, but sometimes you really just get into in a match where you just are constantly getting bombs. Nice banana from Hedwig, and it just feels really so good, satisfying when you can help your team with those.
He's sniping. He's sniping his bagger. He's like, you know what, dude? Let's have a little bit of fun with this while I'm at it.
Yeah, why not?
They have such a chokehold over this race. And then, as if it wasn't hard enough on Finland, the game's like, you know what, man? Have that 2.5% TC in third when you're already down 120. Like, sometimes this game's a really cruel mistress, and you really have to emphasize the fact that sometimes it's just not it. Sometimes you go for the item because you need it, and you just pull trash, and there's not much you can really do.
That's a shock for Finland that went their way. There's a blue shell as well coming. Gets them after the item boxes as well, so maybe they can at least interrupt the top 3 here, although I'm not too certain of that. The bananas do land. Great back spam on Callum's part, and that will be the top 3.
And then they get everything behind it, so cool, but not great, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Again, the opening just dictated everything. You had Callum, who had the mistake, much like Kahuma, but that just allowed, Ollie and Lachlan to just break away and just do their thing. You had Hedwig being the sole survivor up there, but third place items aren't pretty. They're not exactly ideal, especially in a clan war setting where you can't really rely on like people around you, because if you're in third and your teammates in fourth, don't really want to drop, don't really have that luxury. But this is looking pretty dire for Finland right now. But I mean, props to them for playing it out anyway. Like sometimes all experience is good, and they have other matches as well after this one, if I'm not mistaken. So this doesn't mean, like curtains. Like you can just have a bad event.
Right, exactly. And so it certainly isn't curtains. Wouldn't be, I mean, we've been surprised so many times in World Cup history generally. I think, you can't really rule anything out. I think that's what's one of the more, pretty chill parts about the World Cup is that I think like at any level of interest in Mario Kart, whether having been engaged for a while or really not at all, I think just like following along for like this game that we've all kind of in a lot of ways grown up with, or at least, if not like playing with and super active with, just like kind of as part of the culture. And it's cool to just see it kind of done in a way where we can see people from all across the world represent their flags and kind of put together some really amazing moments, whether it's maybe the amazing moment for this match is Scotland getting literally 500 points or above 450, which in and of itself is a huge accomplishment. But I mean, we've seen some incredible stuff, and I think that's what a team like Finland is just. That's why I think they're just happy to be a part of it, really. So Is just
Yeah,
to be a part
exactly.
of the.
Especially with the team changes. Like, I respect them so much for having like such a pivotal member of their team kind of like take a back seat, I guess, and just still agreeing. Like, they're like, props to them. Really, really, really crazy, because it's hard. It's difficult when you've got like trying to figure out the inner workings of the team, because that's another thing that we overlook. Like, we're all just seeing a bunch of screaming monkeys driving around a track for 3 minutes, right? There's so much more that goes on, like the inner mechanisms of the team play and like the coordination and how each team member meshes with another one, and just getting it all to work out. So the fact that they're still here today to give us this match to commentate, like, they deserve, you know, like a round of applause for that.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
I think from what we see here, at least they're holding up here in the middle spot. Scotland having a nice grip on mid spots. Callum holding a Mega in 6th, always great. I mean, Mega not the most ideal thing for like the lower mid spot, but you'll take it. 4, 5, 6 here for Scotland.
Yeah, you've actually got Finland running this one. You got Karhuma in first, doing what he needs to be doing, like finally putting that pressure up in first, dropping bananas on this like this figure 8 section here to hopefully, you know, catch a few of the Scottish teammates off guard.
Yeah.
But again, if Scotland have the shock, which leads me to believe they do, based on the shock record of what's going on in this in this war, I'm expecting a cannon shock lap 3 that will completely and utterly tear Finland apart, because you got the blue coming here, unfortunately. That's going to be kind of fatal for Team Finland, because that allows Scotland to then get up there even more, and they've now got a solid top 2, and then you've got Lachlan in 4th, so they're holding 3-5. But if Scotland have shock and he's got a Mega in 6th, it's just not looking ideal. It really isn't. That blue was not what Finland needed with the current state of things.
Yeah, it seriously wasn't. Now, a matter of recovery is, well, looking dire, especially when another bomb lands. Oh, no, I think Karu may be able to avoid it. Okay. But still, yeah, very much expecting the Scotland shock to do a number here.
Oh, nice. Excellent. I mean, that's not going to do too much, because they've already got top 2. That kind of just, like, gets them a bit more pocket change. Finland using all of their dodges, expecting a cannon shock, but one not coming. Maybe they opted not to? After the bomb? No, they're going to get him in cannon and cancel his cloud. I respect it. Yeah. I respect it a lot. I guess the plan was to dodge Callum no matter what. So.
I think, I think, like, I guess it panned out that way. Like, I think Scotland used a dodge and Finland in response used a dodge. And so, yeah, it just ended up panning out really great there for Callum. Doesn't get a POW onto anyone at the end, but will take a 5th place to end off the race there. And so I think maybe one of the more favorable races we've seen for Finland so far, but still, not a job. Yeah. Not too bad of a job.
Well, it took him a blue to get him out of first. Like, Karhuma was absolutely running that. It's just a bit unfortunate. Like, when you're in this position as Finland, you really just want the game's, you know, like, random number generator seed to be on your side. But like I said earlier, the game's a bit of a cruel mistress and doesn't really care about your feelings sometimes. So, yeah, that's going to be another top 3-5 for Scotland. So Scotland are really just setting a record here with these races.
Callum with a 46 on top of that. Sammy with 33. So another huge GP for Scotland. And
I really, really hope you didn't speak what you said into existence, man.
I mean, we've had a fair record of this so far, at least on the stream. I think we might be going the full distance here. That's like around an average of around 163 points per GP, which if they get again, they would come up 10 short of 500. So they do need to turn it up a little bit even more somehow if they want to get the big old 500. A feat that I must emphasize, like how rare that is.
Yeah, I mean, like that's all they've kind of got it in the bag. I don't want to like crush any hopes, but I think.
I mean, I don't know. It's like pretty like they're already doing. They're already doing so well, and like even doing as they have been so far, it is not enough. Like they have to turn it up on top of everything they've been doing already. So it's like. We've been seeing these top mounts, but it's just so much to ask for to have that so consistent across like all 4 races that like we'll see. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if they can really go to that 500 point marker.
If I was Finland, I would be picking the most funny things possible. Like we'd be going to Shargai Beach if I was on Finland right now. I would be actively sabotaging any hope they have of picking any track where they can just break away and run, because these tracks have all been running. And I don't know if I agree with this decision to go to Yoshi Falls. Like, they have top 3. This is another track where if they can pull the lightning and blues don't come, they can just book it, because it's short. There's only going to be one lightning here, unless one's spammed at 30, but obviously not really going to be seeing that in the World Cup, most likely. Usually a bit more coordination than that. So I just don't know if I... Did he read his teammate? Are they going for indivs? Or was
all right. Maybe this is where the road to 500 falls apart here.
Maybe they're just like, you know what, man? I'm sick of scoring 39. It's time I score 47. You know?
Yeah, Sammy, you know, scoring uncharacteristically low at 33 at the last GP. I think maybe he has something to say.
I'm entitled to an MVP. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think it's good to spread the wealth here at least a bit.
Of course.
You know?
I mean, Bill in 7th, great item, objectively, not on this track, though. Like, yes, if he dodges, but the Bill notoriously takes some of the most asinine lines known to man on this track, so not the best thing he could have pulled. Ideally, Star would have been great, but it seems Finland, I don't know, holding it up there. You got a few of their members up there. It looks like Shock's either coming really late or not at all. If I'm Callan, I'm going to use the Bill right now. Yep, and... proof in the pudding that the Bill routes on this track absolutely blow massive censored.
Yeah.
It's honestly really, really bad. It really wants to take the top route no matter what. And you can see that he went all the way to the right, and it didn't matter. But, like, the Bill takes him to the line anyway. No blues, no shock.
And it ends up just working out anyway. So...
It works.
Yeah.
It works out.
It works. But still, yeah, the Bill is just... Yeah, you got to be wary of that item, especially towards the end. It's more it's if you don't use it like after passing like through the waterfall, it's hard to think of like a better place to use it, and that's still at the same time going over boost pads, so it's not even that great of a place to use it over. Oh my god, top 2-4. Congratulations to Finland.
1, 2, 4, 6.
Honestly,
you know what?
Yeah, hats off. I think they just ended.
They did it.
They ended the road to 500 just there. Unless Scotland can somehow build
500. Get out of it.
Yeah, good job well done to Finland. They pulled it together and finally got on the board. A big race win for them.
Finally, and I was doubting them. I'm like, you know what? Yoshi Falls short track. They have top 3. No, apparently that is Finland turf. I'm sure Redding, his teammate, to make him hard lock to take the Bill where the Bill kissed the wall was probably a benefactor for Finland in that one. But I'm happy nonetheless. Yeah, I'm happy for them nonetheless. That may have killed the dream of 500, though. You're pretty right about that one.
Yeah, unfortunately, as it is. But I mean, we do see them get to 200 points off of that. So they seem
alternatively. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking at these track votes, and are Finland like just picking the shortest tracks to kind of like speed along the process?
Maybe.
I mean,
I think they're actually maybe the approach is like hoping for like Shock to not be coming into play as much, maybe, or I don't know. But either way, they didn't get their pick of GV2, which is an interesting. I mean, GV2 like it's good, right? If you have top spots, sometimes I do think it's a bit chaotic of a course. And sometimes you can like come into it with top spots and leave with like bottom 4. Sometimes it just really is like that sometimes. But yeah, it ends up going Grumble Volcano anyway, which is still a pretty chaotic track in and of itself. We'll try to see if Callum, I think, is looking for shrooms of some sort to maybe take the rock hop. Isn't able to troll the member of Finland that they might be looking to do.
I think he's looking for kills. I think he's going on a rampage. I mean, he has no reason to kind of like... I mean, he's been running most of the war, right? So may as well have a little bit of fun with it.
Right. Yeah, why not? You know, sprinkle in a little bit of variety into his Mario Kart Wii life. Lord knows we could all. We do
a little bit of trolling. Sometimes. It's just how we do it.
Right. Now, it's 7th place, triple shrooms here. Big chillin', I think, for Callum, who unfortunately cannot help their teammate, and I think would be very much happy to just sit. And I mean, I think in that situation, I'd love even just like baiting my teammates in, like, oh yeah, I definitely have something to maybe cancel that TC with. Just come to me, and then I just slow down and use those shrooms to jet off. But he doesn't quite have the sense of humor that maybe I do. It seems.
No.
So.
No, not at all. No.
So it seems like either way, he'll be in 2nd place here going into last lap, and a big gap happening between the rest of the map.
I can't even tell who's where. The baggers are kind of there. Okay, so now I have an idea what's going on. It's Sam in first, and then you've got Callum right behind. Yeah, I mean, like, Kahoma being up there at the front, but opts to take the respawn lap 2 as opposed to take the rock hop, so that allows him Callum to pass him up, which is kind of detrimental to the point spread there. So they're just going to get a top 2. Sammy going to wait on the line. Yep, perfect, and the Blues going to not get them to secure that top 2.
Yeah, perfect timing there.
That's something that you're going to see that a lot. By the way, I want to emphasize that you're going to see a team, if they're in first and if they're in second, you're going to see them just come to a stop, like a complete halt, because how the Blue works is the Blue will always target the player that is furthest ahead that hasn't crossed the line. The moment you cross the line, the game goes right, they're not part of it anymore, and they will target the next highest player. So imperative stuff.
It really is. And I mean, all that said, seems like it'll be Scotland at least being able to definitively move towards the 400-point mark. Yeah, they're messing around a bit, but they definitely want to make sure they get the point differential that can be pretty crucial in this group. As we will.
I want to ask about that, because you're the man with the plan when it comes to that. Right. Scoring points in these events. If it comes down to a point where it needs to decide between two teams, is it the point differential and how many points you've earned in these wars that gives you an edge over the other team?
It's one of the two important ones. I think another one to note is just head-to-head generally. So if you're in a tiebreaker with a team, also important to note is how did the results turn out when you played them directly? And if there's a team tied and there's two teams tied and one team beat the other and when they played, and that's really the only difference, they still had a tie, then yeah, that's generally what differentiates and tie breaks the two teams. But there's just like a variety of factors that can make for weird tiebreaker situations. Either way, it's pretty common to find teams in a similar situation where head-to-head isn't enough and point differential is what will take it. So yeah, points is what will be pretty crucial here, and I think what's good to note in general is just that, like, the group here, only 2 teams make it out. I have to double check. I think this is the group of 6 teams, so only one third of teams here making it out, and is pretty stiff competition, very generally speaking. So definitely want to have all the assets possible when it'll come down to only 2 teams of 6 getting out.
You said it, absolutely. When it comes to this race, what's going on right now, I don't know. I think it's just coming down to
fun stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like I'm watching a worldwide, honestly.
Yeah, and I honestly, this is one of my favorite, like, 1v1 tracks. Honestly, if I'm looking to just have a nice fun time, is like just playing Raceway over and over and over again. I think that's what I default to, because I don't know, it's just a very fun track to play on, able to catch up, very zany, of course, and all kinds of bad stuff can happen too, but the good makes it worth it. And unfortunately for Callum, not too fun getting triple reds in 6th on Raceway. You definitely like to be zooming at this point in the track, but still have plenty of time left, and unfortunately another set of triple reds coming out for them, so maybe you have to wait a little bit before coming back up.
Another thing that's worth pointing out, because you mentioned, like, the whole, like, you've got to thank the people that choose to cast, like the people that choose to stream, so that we have these perspectives. In the first race, you had Callum kind of like jump the wrong way on Maple Treeway and fall off. But since then, hasn't really made any like driving errors other than like drifting the wrong way into the grass. So that's another thing that's definitely worth mentioning. Like the props, like it's been playing incredibly clean, like just clean outright. Like
exactly. The shock dodge coming in. Gets a dodge, just clip a little bit of grass, but it should be enough. To get the triple green, should be able to surprise them. Actually, Finland able to survive that. Finland having a lot of top spots, actually, but of course the shock doing a number here. Let's see if they will be able to get back onto first, or maybe backspin coming onto... Oh, wow, okay.
I like it. I like that. The swerve green to back him, and the red kind of goes, yeah, I found a bit of a... Sometimes the fastest route isn't directly a straight line. I'm going to curve a little bit.
Sometimes isn't. Now, Finland, I think, might have had a decent race there. Some combination.
I think they got top 3.
No way. They top 3. Did they?
I think they did.
No shot. I thought there was like 2-3-5 or something like that. But maybe I could be wrong.
I mean, Hedwig kind of died, but I mean, we saw some other Finnish players coming up there. There may have been like a Scottish player that managed to snag 2nd or 3rd, but they definitely got some of the higher points of that race. I mean, they were just running for it, but it begs the question, like, no, there you go, look, proof right there, top 3.
Yeah.
Told you.
Wow.
So it seems the strategy was that they needed to just vote tracks in the Shell Cup.
Yeah.
It would seem.
Clearly.
And they figured it out a little bit too late. I mean, you had Yoshi Falls and Raceway. They were going for Ghost Valley too. So maybe a little bit of Peach Beach. Had we played more than, It seems to be working out for them. It's sabotaging their point scorings. Obviously, they can't win at this point, but that they can absolutely kind of like make it so that Scotland does not break that 500 threshold that you were talking about. Maybe not even 450 at this point.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Possible.
Yeah, I don't even think we get to that point, which is, for Finland to be able to turn it around. A job well done on their part. Yeah, just keep it going. Why not? Take away the point differential. You might be play a part in breaking hearts for Scotland later on.
Possibly. I mean, like, it's just I kind of wish that the GP3 that we're seeing now was the kind of like the GPs that we were seeing in 1 and 2. Right. It seems like they're warmed up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they're and I don't know whether that's Scotland just being like, haha, easy dub. And
sure,
just
that is
like
fair. That is
chilling
fair.
Yeah. That's the part I can't figure out. Like, are they playing an autopilot now because they know that they've got the win secured, or are Finland actually making some plays that are kind of swaying the tides a little bit in this GP3, but heading into what I believe is the last race, GV2?
Yeah.
Or is there a race after this one?
Didn't we... Am I going...
No, GV. We had GV. It was the first track, wasn't it?
Am I going mental? Yeah. Did we not already do GV2? Maybe no, I am.
No. They voted GV2, and they were like, screw the 2. We go GV.
Right.
So, now we've got the GV, but without the 2. So, with the 2. Not making any sense.
Yeah, no. But I think I was also like remembering the last War 2 where they went GV2. I think so.
No, the last race.
Yeah,
that was right. Yeah. That's it. We start and end on the same tracks. Exactly. It's the World Cup Tour Double Dash. It's that World Cup edition.
Maple Treeway, GV2, and then everything else. Teams can do whatever. It doesn't really matter. As long as you get those 2. Either way, Mega Star, please just use it.
Mega Star, and then Finland getting blue, Carhoma tanking the blue, Callum spending an entire lap in a dodge. There it is, bang.
Yeah.
And Golden in 5th or something. Yeah, okay, plowing it through.
Wait, Finland's still getting a good rate. What is that? Okay.
Man.
Yeah, those items were just crazy. It was just like constant.
What was that string of stuff? Mega Star, Golden? Like, all right.
That is something I would expect, like, to see it for the loss, like, or for the win, like Hacker be getting or something at that point.
Save it for the next matches, Callum, dude. You can't burn all your luck here when you're already up by this much. Like, there might be a later match where like he needs a crucial box in 6th and he pulls a power and a blooper and a single red. He'll be like, man, if only I got that lap 3 on GV2 versus Finn. Right.
Oh, I mean, I. It's funny. Oh wait, okay. I thought Finland got first. I don't know what happened to them.
No. He went for the clean sweep with that star. That star just lasted forever, so that'll do it. But Finland actually MVPing this GP. Hydrate. There you go. And finally, we're seeing not a top 3 or a top 4 in the final GP results. We're seeing a win from Finland on the GP overall, and those are the small victories you got to take.
Right.
Honest, at this point.
Yeah, exactly. It really is, and I think, at that point, I think this is a better performance than their match versus Greece, who, my understanding is that Greece is seen as an even better team than Scotland, so it checks out. But, like, still, the being able to perform and get to 90 near 300 when, like, Scotland is pretty up there with Greece in terms of performance is, like, yeah, it shows progression on their part, especially as we just saw towards the later end of the match. And shouts out to Karhuma for getting 94 points in the war still, beating Scotland's 4th, who got 89 points. So that is the match. I believe the final score being 442 to 290. Didn't quite get to the 450 marker.
It didn't hit 450. Yeah. That is what we take. After the first 2 GPs, I think Finland did what they could, really. And they had some crazy stuff going on there. 2 top 3s.
Yeah.
Just a shame that wasn't there when they needed it earlier, but I mean, it's still something.
It really is. And you know what? They'll have to take it one way or another. I think they'll be fine taking it, in good stride.
Absolutely.
With all that said, we have some more fun action coming up. Of course, we are broadcasting so much of today than this weekend in general. And plenty of more action to come. We are starting off with a block of Mario Kart Wii. Still, I believe, am I not mistaken, we do have 2 more matches as a whole for today in Mario Kart Wii. That is the match up next between Netherlands and Switzerland, which actually might be really interesting to see because, you know, we just saw Switzerland. They performed really well against Asia, one of the top seeded teams in this group 2 for Mario Kart Wii. And Netherlands is right up there with Asia. So, or maybe even, I don't know. I some might even say Asia's better than Netherlands. So this could be a tighter bout even. So we'll have Netherlands versus Switzerland coming on up. I'm not sure. We'll see if we get you in. I do believe we have 2 people coming in. Maybe we'll see if you join after. But I think this might be my last time casting with you at the very least for today. So thank you It was really, really fun. And I definitely look forward to doing more. But yeah, we will come back in a few more moments